Happy Canada Day! So July 1st is Canada Day and I am Canadian, so I decided to make a little video just kind of listing off some random facts about Canada. Canada was officially an independent country in 1867, which makes us 153 years old. It's actually a rather young country, so that's interesting. Our first prime minister, and yes, we call them prime ministers, not presidents, was John A. Macdonald, and our current prime minister is Justin Trudeau. We have actually had one female prime minister before, and that was Kim Campbell. So we have had a female leader. Ottawa, Ontario is the country's capital. We have two official languages, which are French and English. However, we use a mix of American and British English when writing. So that's why you may see some of my spelling is more British than American. Our population is 36 million, which is actually 1/10 of the United States and half of the United Kingdom. However, as far as landmass goes, we are the second largest in the world. So we've got a lot of space and not a lot of people. So it's kind of nice. There's a lot of nature here. Speaking of nature, we have more freshwater lakes than the entire world combined, which is nuts. I didn't know that. Lots of these facts I didn't know until I was going to make this video. Our Trans-Canada Highway is the longest highway in the world. And we have we have a couple strange laws. I noticed in BC, which is on the coast, the west coast, it is illegal to kill the Sasquatch, which is Bigfoot, so that's funny. And in Churchill, Manitoba, it is illegal to lock your house door. And that is for polar bear reasons, because there are local Save the Polar Bear groups that have been active for a while in that area, which in turn increases the amount of polar bears in the area. So it's actually common for the polar bear to enter town. And if you know anything about polar bears, they're super duper dangerous and huge. And actually on Halloween, there is a helicopter or some kind of flight-based patrol that watch the streets to keep an eye out for polar bears to keep the trick-or-treaters safe. Speaking of trick-or-treaters, apparently the term trick-or-treat was coined in Alberta, and the term psychedelic was coined in Saskatchewan. I don't know how they could really determine that definitively. Like, how do you know where like one obscure word comes from? I don't know, but that's what the one website told me, so who knows. We have 6 time zones throughout the entire country, and in some places we do have daylight savings, so it does change depending on the season. The death penalty was abolished in 1976. You can actually send letter mail to Santa Claus at, you just write Santa Claus, North Pole, H-O-H-O-H-O. That was always the commercial. I remember growing up, it was always, send Santa Claus your wish list and send it to H-O-H-O-H-O. So that's like the postal code, which is funny and cute. I think we did that once in class when I was in elementary school. We all sent Santa a letter, but otherwise, like, I never believed in Santa as a kid. So I guess something I learned was we have an island that is strictly for horses off the coast of Halifax, which I didn't realize. I guess there's only 5 humans that take care of the horses on this island, and the island is called Sable Island, I believe. And you can, civilians are typically not allowed on the island, but you can gain permission through, I think, Parks Canada if you request it. I don't know what the hoops are to go through to actually get approved, but I thought that was interesting. The town of Vulcan in Alberta actually has a replica of the Starship Enterprise, which is kind of interesting. But also Alberta has a like unofficial UFO landing pad, and that was put up in 1967. So I guess just in case there's aliens coming to visit, they can land in Alberta. Ogopogo is a sea monster that allegedly lives in Lake Okanagan, which is in BC. That's pretty fun. And I know a lot of people around the world kind of refer to Canadian money or Canadian currency as monopoly money because it is colorful. All the bills are like different colors. And I wish I would have pre-planned and I could have grabbed a couple of the smaller bills and I would have shown you, but I'll show you on the screen anyway. But and actually our bills are made from a polymer plastic, and it's like near impossible, not impossible, but near impossible to tear them. And like if you wash them in your clothing or whatever in the washing machine, totally fine because they're plastic. So that I really like our money. I think it's fun, but whatever. We also have two coins that are unique to Canada, and that is the loonie and the toonie, which are $1 and $2, and they're really common. Like everybody has loonies and toonies. Yeah, just something kind of fun. In wintertime, we use toques, not beanies or whatever. Toques are just essentially a knitted hat. It's a beanie, but we call them toques. Similarly, hoodies are not hoodies. They are bunny hugs, and you just have to deal with it because that's what they're called. We pronounce the letter Z, not Z. I know a lot of these things are more comparing Canada to the US, but we say pop, not soda. I don't know, we just call Coke and Pepsi and whatever, we call it all pop. We have the Canada goose. Our national animal is the beaver, and there's a snack that is like deep fried dough with like sugar and cinnamon, I think. It's dipped in sugar and cinnamon, sometimes icing sugar, don't know, but whatever, called beaver tails. The maple leaf is in our flag, and the maple tree gives us maple syrup, which we are widely known for in the world, is our syrup. We have snacks like Smarties. I think they're called something else in other parts of the world. We have Poutine, which is delicious. The standard Poutine is just French fries with cheese. It's typically cheese curds. You can do mozzarella cheese, but the traditional way is with cheese curds and then gravy on top. Yum. We have a division of law enforcement called the RCMP, which is the Royal Canadian Mounted Police. They don't ride horses like they used to. However, if there's any kind of ceremony or celebration or whatever where the RCMP are present and involved in the celebration, they actually will be on horses, so that's cool. Our Thanksgiving is in October, not November. Inukshuks and totem poles are pretty common around the country because of our First Nation population who were here in the beginning. So a lot of their culture has been represented in the Inukshuks and totem poles. Hockey is our #1 sport. Ice hockey specifically, I don't know who really thinks any other kind of hockey is an actual sport, but ice hockey, yes. I am wearing my Blue Jays cap, which is baseball, because Blue Jays are the only Canadian team in baseball right now, in Major League Baseball. So if you're a baseball fan in Canada, 9 times out of 10, or even 10 times out of 10, you're probably a Blue Jays fan. Apparently Nanaimo bars are Canadian and Hawaiian pizza is Canadian, which I didn't know. Let me know, for those of you who are not Canadian, do you guys have Hawaiian pizza? Hawaiian pizza is basically just ham and pineapple and cheese and sauce. It's just Hawaiian. I don't know, it's called Hawaiian. You would think that wouldn't be Canadian then. I don't know. You guys let me know in the comments. I don't know how popular Lululemon is in places other than Canada, but apparently Lululemon is Canadian, which is a really, really popular high-end athletic wear in Canada. Tim Hortons is basically our national coffee shop, coffee and donuts, and A&W is a fast food restaurant, which are basically in every town in Canada. And I've got a few lists here as well. So some Canadian TV shows, Mr. Dress Up, Fred Penner, The Red Green Show, Due South, North of 60, Road to Avonlea, Wind at My Back, Emily of New Moon, and Corner Gas. I'm not really sure how many popular TV shows nowadays are Canadian. Like, I think I got really into Flashpoint a couple months back, and I believe that show is Canadian, so I don't know if it was like really only available on Canadian networks or if other places in the world had access to Flashpoint. I have no idea. You guys can let me know, but I really like that show. And then I'm just gonna list some celebrities and famous people that are Canadian. Two authors were Margaret Atwood and Lucy Maud Montgomery, and then some musicians and actors are Ryan Gosling, Ryan Reynolds, Justin Bieber, Avril Lavigne, Celine Dion, Rachel McAdams, Seth Rogen, Jim Carrey, Shania Twain, Drake, Michael Bublé, Mike Myers, Ellen Page, Donald Sutherland, and Alanis Morissette. There's just a few Canadian people who are famous. So, yeah, thanks for joining me as I tell you about my home country, and I would love to hear all of your thoughts in the comments below. Let me know if you are Canadian, if you're not. Let me know if you have heard some of these, if you've never heard any of these. Yeah, I'm really, really curious and interested to see what you guys think. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a lovely day. Bye!